welcome to the very first episode of, drumroll please, insert, did I put the sound in there? Mimi's Magic Sketchbook! I am Mimi, and I am so excited to be sharing the very first painting project with you all. If you are interested in turning a sketch, which I love to do, and turn that into an amazing art masterpiece, then this is going to be the video for you. And I just realized I forgot to bring in my co-host. Let me go get her really quick. This is Mia! Yay! She loves to give kisses, and she is a wonderful art co-host. She loves art and nature just as much as me. Probably loves nature even more because she loves to roll in dirt, eat worms, but we don't like her to eat worms because we love all the critters in the forest, right, Mia? They're just really fun to chase, especially the squirrels. So if you are ready to get to painting, then let's get to it. So one of the best things that I love is to go outside and just sketch. So I set up a little area and started sketching away. I love everything that has to do with the earth and being outside. So I was inspired by Mother Earth and the beautiful colors that she has. Green, blues, those are my favorite colors, and rainbows. Love rainbows. And this was the final sketch that I made. And we're actually going to use this sketch as our inspiration for today's painting. So today's project, you're going to need a pencil, and I am going to start sketching out a design based on my sketch, but it's not going to be exactly perfect or look exactly like the sketch because it's just for inspiration, but I do want the earth to be the main show of this masterpiece because I love the earth and everything that has to do with nature. Mia loves nature too. I know you saw her in the beginning of the video. We go hiking all the time in the woods, and you can find the coolest things. We find antlers all the time, and we love listening to birds and just being outside. So today's painting, we're going to use blue, red, and yellow, and those are the primary colors. And you know, you can actually mix those colors together and you can create all kinds of colors. So all the colors in a rainbow, if you really break it down, they're made of the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And that's just, it still amazes me today because I've been an artist my whole life. And it's just so cool to see the different colors and the shades you can make just by mixing those three colors. I'm also going to be using white and black. So those are going to be used to lighten our colors, and the black is going to be used to make darker shades of our colors. So we're going to put those in the middle, and this is how I'm going to be laying out my color palette so it's a little bit easier so they're not just splotted all over the place. So I'm going to start by mixing the primary colors, blue and yellow, and let's see what they make. This is the magic part. Green! And actually green is one of my most favorite colors in this world. It's actually blue, green, and orange are my favorite colors. But now we're going to start laying out that green blobby paint color all over the land sections of my earth. And your green might look a little different, and that's fine. As long as you mix blue and yellow, you should get some really cool shades of green. If you want to make it more yellow-green, add more yellow. If you want a little darker, add more blue. So just have fun. And we're just getting the first layer of this painting done. And we're going to add so many more colors than just this. So don't you worry. All our paintings are going to look so cool. So if you really do decide to do this painting, I hope yours does not look exactly like mine, because that's what makes art so fun, is that we all have different tastes and different styles, and that's what makes the world cool, is that we're all so different. And we can be doing maybe the same design, but it comes out completely unique to your own style. So have fun. That's the main thing that I want y'all to do, is have fun when you paint. And I have 2 different glasses filled with water, and make sure whenever you're switching colors to always clean your brushes. And I have 2 because the one I'm going to use to get most of that paint off, and then the other one just to make sure my brush is extra squeaky clean. So now we're adding the water part of the earth. And we're just going to use straight blue. And my colors might be a little bit different. So if you have any shade of blue paint that you have, and I'm working with acrylics, but you could do the same painting in watercolor or just whatever you have. Even just drawing, you can layer the colors together and you can create the same mix. And now I'm going to add the rainbow. So on my sketch, I had some kind of like a sunburst happening right before the rainbow started. But I decided to start my rainbow right above the earth. And I'm going to start with yellow. And we're going to work around like a little circle and mix all the colors in between. Ooh, so yellow and red make a really cool shade of orange. And just get the shade that you want. And we're just going to add one layer on top of the other. And we're just following the outline of our earth. So basically it's creating the rainbow for us. So it already has that kind of arch shape. And make sure that you wash your brushes between each color. I cannot stress that enough, because you don't want your colors to get all muddy and mucky. We want the colors to be bright and fun. So next we're going to use straight on red, fire engine red. It's pretty. Okay, so next shade we're going to mix the red and the blue, and let's see what we get. Purple! My purple might look a little different from yours, so don't forget that. Don't try to match my colors exactly, because your secondary colors are going to be unique to how much blue or how much red you put into them. So make sure you wash that brush. And now straight on blue, and that's the same blue that we used for the water in our earth. And I'm actually on my sketch, my blue stripe was above the green, but we're going to work around the color wheel today. So I put my blue first and make sure I washed my brush, of course. And then I'm going to mix some more of that green that we used to make the land part of our earth. I really like that color, so I'm going to try to match it the same shade. And that's going to be my last stripe. If you don't have room for the next color, or like just say you didn't get to green and you ran out of room, then stop your rainbow right there. I had room for a green and actually wound up having a little bit of space at the end. So this part is the detail time. I love detail time because this is the part where you're going to make your painting unique to you and just have the most fun with it. So I'm going to show you what I did, but you don't have to do anything that I am showing you, but I'm just going to show you different ways to mix that white and black into our colors and just make this painting pop. So I'm starting off by adding some more details in the water. So I'm going to add a little white to my blue. And I want the water to look like there's waves going on. So I'm adding some kind of squigglies all over the place. And those are supposed to represent the water waves. And by adding white to the blue, it just creates a beautiful shade of light blue. And it's giving the painting more dimension and just making it really come alive. So I'm going to fill up all of that blue and just make it filled with little squiggly worm lines. Yeah, they kind of look like little worms to me. And I'm going to add some more white and mix some more of that light blue. And I'm going to bring that into the rainbow too, because it's that same shade of blue, but I want to add a lighter shade right at the bottom and then work my way up. And I made little stripes. So that part, I just decided to have really fun. I didn't think that much into this because I wanted it to be very creative and just do what I feel like, really. So I encourage you to do that too. So now I'm mixing a dark blue. I added black to my blue. Be careful adding black because it tends to really darken a color. And sometimes I add way too much. Like you could see, I had to add some more blue to my palette because it was way too dark. And I'm going to add some dark blues into my water. And you could just see, like, doesn't that look so cool? Just like working around the light blues and that bright blue. It's just making this painting really pop. And I'm going to do the same thing to my blue rainbow, but I'm going to add some little stripes and just really make it fun. And don't forget to wash that brush. I will say that a lot, just to make sure you really do wash that brush. Now I'm going to go add some, what am I doing? I'm adding some green. So I'm going to get a little bit of black. I'm mixing a green with the blue and the yellow and add black, and that's going to make it a darker shade of green. And then I'm going to start working in some details on the green parts of my painting. And if you can use whatever brush that you happen to have, I just like to put some random brushes in a jar and use which one I feel like at the time. So I just happen to be using the same brush, but I will switch it off when I get to maybe some smaller details. And I'm going to add some of those stripes back into that top. Now I'm going to add more of a yellow green, and I'm going to lighten it up with white. And I'm going to, let's see what I do. Oh, this is where I switched the brushes because, you know, that brush was a little bit too big for me. So I'm going to add some more of that yellowy light green into the land. I really like that stripey kind of look. It's just like very whimsical and fun. And I'm all about whimsical and fun. That basically describes who I am as a person. And then what I did to the bottom green, I'm going to put it on my rainbow. I'm adding that same shade into my green rainbow stripe. And you can already see, like, doesn't that already look so cool? Instead of just a flat stamp of a color, I'm really bringing it out with these details. I love detail phase. I will say that all the time. It's just my favorite part of any painting. So now I'm going to work on that yellow. I mixed a lighter yellow. You can't see too much on the video, but I just created a light shade of yellow and put it right at the bottom of my yellow stripe. Again, to give it dimension and make it look a little bit more interesting to look at. And now I'm going to be mixing some orange. Feel free to add more paint to your palette, but for me, it's best to not add so much at first, as I don't want to be wasteful of my paint. So you can always add more when you run out. So now I mixed a light orangey color, and remember, to lighten a color, you just add white, and to darken it, you add black. And then wipe that brush. Now I'm mixing an even lighter shade. And I really like those kind of broken up lines. So I will probably repeat that process more throughout this painting because I really liked it. So now I'm just going to go through my pink, and pink is red and white, and I'm going to work on that red stripe of my rainbow to really make it come alive. And I'm going to put it at the bottom, and you can see that red stripe just really popping out now. And also make sure you let your paint layers dry, because if you put on a lot of paint and then you try to go on with another color right at first, you're going to see like your paint is going to get all smudgy and your colors won't be as vibrant if you do it that way. So be patient, maybe go take a break and go play outside, go for a walk, and then come back, because you don't have to finish this painting in one sitting. I love the color purple too. So I'm going to add a light purple layer onto my big purple stripe of my rainbow. And I actually wound up really liking this brush for the details, so I stuck with it for the rest of this video. But if you want to use the same brush, that's fine. Just make sure you're always washing that brush and make sure it's dry. And I did have those empty white spaces at the top. So you may not have that if you're working on your painting, but I really wanted to fill it up. So I just added a really dark shade of green by making a blue and yellow mix, make a great green, and then I added some black. And it just filled up those edges and actually came out really cool, in my opinion. Make sure you always compliment yourself when you're painting. That's necessary for a true artiste. Ooh, this was my favorite part. So I just randomly decided to add some dots in my painting, and I kept in that same color family as whatever stripe I was working on. And I really like that look to it. So I wind up doing that more throughout the painting, and you'll see. So if you don't like that, you don't have to do it. You could add some squiggly lines or no lines at all, really. It's just, I really wanted this painting to be really bright and fun and really express how much I love the earth. Like, I really think the earth is magic. It really is. Like, all the critters, and just, I love oceans and hiking and just being in the woods. I have a lot of critter friends out there, you know, Mr. Squirrel. Even though Mr. Squirrel always knocks down our bird feeder, I forgive him every time, and I always put more seeds. I never learn my lesson, kids. If anyone knows how to keep a squirrel away from a bird feeder, let me know. I probably won't listen to that advice because I love squirrels too, even though they don't really like to share seeds with the other critters of the forest. It's okay. Oh, and now I'm using that black. So this phase, I made sure my painting was dry because I was adding black to outline some parts of my painting to really make it stand out. So if you were to do this and your painting was still wet, that black would most likely muddle out some of those colors. It would make them not as vibrant. So again, I urge you to just let your painting sit for a while. And if you're working with acrylics tend to dry very fast. So, I mean, I'm a very patient person, so it's good to just be patient. Go take a break, have a snack, and then come back. And I promise you, your painting will thank you for it when you're in the detail phase for not rushing this process. But can't you just see, like, just adding the black outline really makes this painting come alive. And I'm going to add it there, and I'm going to add some other black stripes around at the top too. If you do attempt this painting, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'll have the link in the description, also at the top banner on the right hand corner. I want you to tag Mimi's Magic Sketchbook because I would love to showcase your art on my channel and on my Instagram, because I love to see artwork that kids create. I just think there's so many amazing artists out there, especially if you're a beginner and you're trying this. I love to see beginners attempt an art piece like this, because really painting and art should not be a scary thing. And I don't want to ever hear anyone say they're not good at art, because I wasn't good at art in the beginning either, but I practiced all the time to where now I'm more comfortable with it. So you got to start somewhere. And I think this painting is a great place to start because you can make it look just as cool as you want it to be. And I'm adding some different textures in some of the rainbow layers. And there we go. That is the final art piece. And don't forget to sign your name on your painting. Make sure your painting is dry before you do that so your name really pops out there, because this is your masterpiece and I want you to be as proud of yourself as I am for you even trying to do this project. I hope you guys loved that painting tutorial. If you had to slow it down at any time, maybe rewatch it a couple times before you start your own project, that is a-okay with me. Remember, art is fun and do not take it so seriously. If you mess up, honestly, I don't even like to say mess up because there are no way that you can mess up any art project. As long as you are putting all your heart and love into your project, it is going to be absolutely amazing. So stay tuned because this channel is going to be filled up with everything nature and art, because those are the things that I love the most, especially little Mia. She's already went to take a little puppy snooze. But we will be back very soon, and I cannot wait to share all of art and nature with you all. Mwah!